Okay, so this vlog is all about probably like Kenai and the trip we took this weekend. And I just have to also say, like, this is only like 2 days of filming. So when I went out to make this vlog, I decided I was just gonna do it on like Friday, Saturday, Sundays, and I think I filmed this. Yeah, this was Saturday that we picked up Kenai. So we actually had to pick up Kenai from training. So since we were gonna have to drive out to get him, which was kind of far, we decided, hey, let's just find an Airbnb that's in that area and let's just keep driving and explore a part of Washington that we haven't been to yet, because we get in a rut sometimes since we do live on 10 acres. I mean, look at this landscaping on this property. It was so inspiring to me. And if you've seen the videos of my property, you know that like it's a lot of overgrown stuff. But like when I see the way that like I love visiting other people's houses, and and I think in the more in the summer, they'll have like garden tours of places in the area, like houses that open their gardens up. It is so inspiring to see the way people landscape here. It's just beautiful. So we picked up Kenai and we drove straight to go to our Airbnb. And let me just tell you, like, he would normally be bouncing off the walls. Kevin actually at one point had to go into the grocery store, and usually he would just like charge the windows and scratch and freak out and be crying. And this was actually right here. Kevin was in the grocery store and I was just sitting in there with the baby, and he was just chill, and I got to make my shake and I didn't have to stress out. And on the drive up, I casted on 200 stitches for a summer sweater that will probably take me all summer to knit. But as you can see, like normal, like anytime you drive through Washington, you're going to get weather. So we got some rain, we got some sunshine on the drive out. And then this is actually the view of the drive up to the house from the driveway. And it pretty much just looks like a lookout like this. And it's funny because I'll link the Airbnb in the comments. It's called the Lookout, and I can see why. It's up on the side of a mountain, and you have to drive up this really steep like drive, which off to the right here was actually a trail that we didn't make it to. We had kind of like a tough parenting. It's like it's kind of like a lot of parenting on this trip, which one of the things that, you know, I don't think people who travel with kids or do things with kids are completely honest about. And I'll tell you why, because it's really nobody's business, right? Like what our kids are going through and those kinds of things. And we never want to share their personal stuff and make that kind of stuff our content, right? So, but I just want to let you know, like, in full transparency, like we had some hard parenting moments. And, I have to remember that while it might not always be easy, these are the memories that we're creating, and we want to do it for our relationship, Kevin and I, our relationship. So here is the Airbnb. It is absolutely beautiful. It was beautiful. Like, I think it's so important to go and stay and experience these types of places with these types of views. It is so important for dreaming big and, seeing what's possible and getting ideas. Kevin and I are planning, we're currently in the process of paying off our home. That is our huge goal for the next 2 to 3 years. The goal is to have it paid off by the end of next year. And we want to build a barn dominium. If you're not familiar with the barn dominium, it's basically like a big open floor plan, and Kevin is very handy, and so we would customize and he would build the whole interior how we want it. And I just love seeing the way people do things, and everything down to the layout of the kitchen. This Viking stove, by the way, Kevin is the cook in the family, and so he was very excited to finally cook on one, because we have been looking at them and we don't see the point in putting one in our house now. We want one for the future. Sorry, one moment for this beautiful photo that obviously the homeowner took, and apparently, has been to Africa quite a few times. But back to the Viking range. It's just one of those things where it's like, he was very excited to be able to experience actually cooking on one before we buy one. He absolutely loved it. And So like I was saying, like everything down to like the layout of the sunken living room and the where the bedrooms were laid out. We've lived in a lot of different houses. We lived nomadically for like 8 years. And so we have lived in a lot of different types of houses with a lot of different kinds of layouts. And what we have realized is that we really like big open floor plans for like the main living spaces. We like big kitchen, big living room, but bedrooms really don't need to be that big. Except for like the master suite, I feel like it needs to be luxurious. This house had a fireplace in the bedroom. We actually didn't use it, even though I had planned on using it, but having little things like that, a big soaking tub. Just a moment for this beautiful situation here. And I mean, it was a cloudy day, but on the clear days, like the mountains just really popped. It was just, and that's all the way down to a ravine, all those trees. I loved all the little cutouts of all the ways to bring in light. These are all things that I just really love about staying in other people's houses. And when it comes down to like building our own house, I loved how all the living spaces were upstairs and the rooms weren't too big. But I also have lived in a home. My Florida home had a really big bathroom, and I want that in a really big closet. And so I can't wait to share that whole process with you when we start. Little man is sitting up on his own, and lots of teeth are coming in. We're on the struggle bus over here with teeth, but my daughter had the same situation where her teeth all came in at once and then it was done. So we're fine with it. Here's Kenai being good old boy, sitting on his place. Okay. So the outside was very interesting as well. I had mentioned, or maybe I don't know if I did, but I love seeing other people's landscaping too. When we decided to leave Florida and come out the Pacific Northwest, I told Kevin, I have to have views. I have to see the mountains. I have to see the water because we have lived in Central Oregon before, and I was not a fan of the high desert. I don't like being landlocked. I need to be around water. I am a water person. I'm a Florida girl. And yeah, so man, this view. And it was just really cool to see how they used all the rocks and with planning our own property, I just love to get ideas and just see what other people do. They lived on like I think 8 or 9 acres, and they had some really beautiful landscaping. And of course, we had just gotten to the house and just picked up Kenai at this point, so I was testing out his commands and having fun with him. It's been a blast having him trained. All right, so anyway, it was pretty interesting. Like they had some peonies coming up. You could see there's like clusters of different plants that they planted. But overall, it was just a really beautiful house. And as far as food goes, I always get asked like what I eat when I'm traveling. I will say over the years of becoming a parent, I really lost my self-discipline when it came to nutrition. I am currently in a hormone health group. It is a test study for a new program that's coming out. So I have to be like following my nutrition to the T. So since we were up in the mountains, we did have to stock up on groceries, lots and lots and lots of veggies, our protein, fats, and food for the kids. So this was definitely for the kids. Some of the stuff is for the kids. I'm just kind of showing a couple of things that we are like our staples. But it felt so good to be focused on my nutrition again while I'm traveling. We stayed we went to go visit Little Germantown while we were here, and you'll see it in the video later. And they have pretzels and danishes and all these kinds of things that normally I would eat and then feel like crap because they're just the gluten and the sugar just kind of like spikes your insulin, and just really feeling like being able to handle those tough parenting moments we had on this trip. I find the better I am with my nutrition, the more patient I am with my kids, the less my moods are all over the place, the less tired I am, and the more satiated I am. Just the better I am. And did anybody watch Dune yet? We watched Dune. I was like feverishly knitting. I was trying to finish the sweater by a certain deadline for the person that created it and had me do a test. I was waiting for Christopher Walken. It's just like, it literally looks like a vest. I'm still working. I finished the collar, which is not done in this video, but I eventually, after this, I finished the collar, and then I started the sleeve. So I am like halfway done with one sleeve. I just have to finish the other sleeve and it's done. And there's already something about it I don't like that I might rip out and fix. I'll let you know if I do, but we'll see. Probably not. All right, leaving the house all day. So I fueled up with my matcha with coconut cream and a big nutritious filling breakfast, showing my 200 cast-ons. This is my first time working with cotton, and it is very tiny. It's going to take forever to finish. The pattern is the Inez sweater on Etsy by Happy Love Co. I love her stuff if you're a beginner, and I'm trying to figure out how to convert it to in the round on my own. So we'll see how that goes. Look at this. This looks like Switzerland. It's so beautiful. I always get asked about like why I love our Sprinter van. Well, here's a perfect example as to why. I can get my kids dressed, I can get the baby on, I can get everybody ready to go, and then we open the door and we hop out. I don't have to worry about the freaking parking lot and the cars running over my kids and the freaking dog. I just can stand up. I can stand up to do everything I need for the kids. It's just a dream for a mom of 3. Just me showing Kenai being the goodest boy, sitting in the parking lot with the door open and not coming out. Which people running around, dogs. Would not be the case. Caught the little baby potty, the potty training potty, but highly recommend to bring one of those on road trips. 1010 needed to use it for a dookie. And this hike I picked out specifically because there is a ton of wildflowers. I have seen pictures of the wildflowers in Wenatchee in the spring, and we just so happened to be there at the right time. Didn't even plan it. There's also a bunch of like purple flowers that you can't kind of see that were out in the distance. So Kevin is setting up. We took like some family photos and videos, and they were super freaking cute. I think this is Eagle Rock. I think that was the name of it. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But as you can see, just absolutely beautiful. We made it. I think it was like 0.69 miles. The kids struggled. I mean, these kids have hiked 4 miles before, and I don't know, sometimes they're just not in the mood, just like you and I are not in the mood. One of the mornings was really fun. We got some snow. Of course, it didn't stick. It was way too warm. It was like 34 degrees. But that was fun to see the little bit of snow that came. And then later on that day, boom. This is Washington. That's just how it is here. You gotta really know how to layer. But it turned out to be a beautiful day. It gets super warm and sunny later on the day in the spring. And so we headed out that day to head to town, which is Leavenworth, which is a cute little Bavarian town. As you can see, there's like mountains just like surrounding it. It reminded us a lot of Zermatt. If you've never been to Switzerland, there is a town called Zermatt in Switzerland that we've been to, and it's a no-car town where it's just no cars allowed. And it's very much like that. The street is closed off. We did a little hike, so we parked a little ways away, and we hiked along the river. And considering my kid wanted to go to town and didn't want to hike, it was very helpful because I had to tell her, well, if you want to go to town, we have to hike. And mom and dad like to hike. We like to walk. So that's how we were able to get in our much needed exercise for the day. So this is the part that like I love about this town. It looks all like a German town. It looks like you're literally in a little town in Germany or the Alps, and it's surrounded around mountains. Super freaking cute. A lot of people come here for Christmas, and we've been here for Christmas before. I don't think it's something that we ever need to do again, but I wanted to come in the spring, and I wanted to come in during Christmas, just showing off Kenai's skills again. I'm just so surprised and shocked and just enjoying this dog so much more now. But anyway, yeah, it's definitely one of those things where like people come here every year. We're not those people. I just wanted to see it when it wasn't covered in snow. And now that we can go home and explore other parts of Washington during other times of the year. And that's what I love about living here. And maybe next week I'll have finished this sweater. Stay tuned.